Okay.
But there is a light bar that is obvious on it. You can see the lights in my push bumper on the front of my vehicle, but there's no marking that signifies it's a law enforcement vehicle.
Okay. So at that point, you, Special Agent Maddox, and Mr. Gray got into the Tahoe.
Yes, sir.
During your interview with Mr. Gray, was he asking questions about your investigation, trying to gather information about what was going on with his son?
Very limited, actually. He asked me initially when I walked up, which you can hear on the footage, if there's anything I can tell him about what's going on. And I let him know that this is a evolving investigation and there's not much information I can give him at that time. I did let him know that his son was in law enforcement custody.
And that was at the beginning stages of your
Yes.
conversation with him, is that correct?
That was when I walked up to the truck.
Before even you got to the Tahoe?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you've given us the orientation of where everybody was sitting in the Tahoe. And presumably at that point, you still would have had your firearm on, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
As did Special Agent Maddox.
Yes, sir.
And to refresh my memory, I apologize. Mr. Gray was in the back seat or was he in the passenger seat?
He was in the front passenger seat next to me.
Okay. And you stated that at some point he voluntarily offered to show you text messages and emails on his phone. Is that correct?
Yes, we were discussing this and he said, I'll show you. And he showed me text messages and emails that were on his phone.
And the emails were in regards to what again?
They were different communications with individuals about counseling that was in reference to Colt Gray.
Such as mental health counseling?
I believe so. I don't
Okay.
have them in front of me, but yes, I believe that's what they were.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess it was quite a lengthy investigation a while ago. So
Was.
if you recall, how did that topic come up? Did you ask specifically about that type of information?
I don't remember explicitly if I initiated that, but I believe he actually offered the information about attempting to get services for his son while we were just asking background questions about Colt's mental health.
Okay. And you stated that this interview was about, did you say an hour and a half?
It was about an hour and a half,
Okay.
yes.
And it took place exclusively within the confines of your vehicle?
Yes, inside my vehicle and right on the outside of my vehicle when we got out.
And Special Agent Maddox, was she there the entire time?
She
of
was.
the duration of the interview?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated that after the interview had been concluded, you made a decision to see if Mr. Gray would be willing to sign the consent to search his cell phone.
I did.
How soon after if you can recall, or best estimates, how soon after the interview concluded before you made the decision?
Well, the time that he signed the consent form is at 3:06 p.m.
Right.
And I ended my recorder at 3 p.m., so
Okay.
5 to 6 minutes.
So 5 to 6 minutes,
Yes.
literally.
Almost immediately after we got out of the car, I made the decision to ask him if I could take his phone.
Okay, and just to clarify that, was the decision, he had already exited the vehicle at the time you asked him for consent, if you recall?
I do believe he was standing, I think we were all standing on the driver's side of my vehicle because we were just going over some logistics information and I was getting his ID data, so like his name, his address, his date of birth, that kind of stuff.
Okay, just the basic identifiers.
Correct.
Was Special Agent Maddox there at the time you had that conversation?
I
Mr.
think
Gray?
she was in the general area, but I don't believe she was directly involved in the consent to search.
Right, okay. And it looks like on that consent to search, there is a line where a witness could sign. It doesn't appear anyone signed. Were there any witnesses to that other than yourself?
No, I mean, because nobody was directly listening to us, I didn't want anyone to sign that, witnessing it, that they had seen that, because it was just he and I really speaking.
So it was really just the two of you talking at that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the time he gave consent, law enforcement was still at the home? Because now it's an hour and a half later.
Yes. I do believe they may have entered the home at that point to execute a search warrant of the residence, but they
Okay,
were still on scene.
so the investigation was still in the
Yes.
stages of happening, for lack
Yes,
of a
it
better
was
way of putting it.
definitely still evolving.
Okay. And I know you stated earlier that the decision to ask him about signing the consent was kind of made on the spur of the moment. But you did still have your digital recorder, correct?
Yeah, it would have been in the car where I left it with my notebook.
Okay. But you could have gotten your recorder and recorded that if you had thought to do that at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have 1 second, Judge? I think I'm
Yes,
almost
sir.
done. Well, I thank you for being here. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Any redirect?
I just have 3 follow-ups.
All right.
You mentioned the search warrant being executed. Prior to you interviewing Mr. Gray, had you been inside that house?
I had not.
Okay. Did you know anything about what was inside the house, or did you discuss that at all with him?
No, I did not.
Okay, nothing further.
Anything else, Mr. Hobbs?
It's just one brief question about search warrants. Ultimately, a search warrant was obtained to search Mr. Gray's phone, is that correct?
I do believe so, yes.
But you wouldn't have been the officer that obtained that search warrant, or the agent, I apologize.
I was not.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is she free to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
State call Daniel Miller to the stand.
And is this on a separate
This is a completely separate
motion?
day. Yes,
Let
sir.
me ask, did the defense have any witnesses on the motion that the prior witness was for?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Could you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you give in the matter now pending before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but truth, so help you God? I do. Have a seat, please. Speaking in the microphone. If you could introduce yourself for the court reporter.
My name is Investigator Dan Miller, Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. I want to take your attention back to May 21st of 2023. Where were you working at that time?
Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
And in what capacity were you working for them?
Excuse me. I was an investigator.
Okay. And on that date, May 21st, 2023, did you embark on an investigation of something?
I did. We'd received, you want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. My supervisor received a tip from the FBI related to a threat, and we went to an address that was given to us by the FBI,
Okay.
where we discovered that the subject of the threat, I guess you could call it the suspect, was no longer living there and had moved out, I don't know, several months prior. And then the deputy that was with me, the road deputy, had some knowledge that of where he might live, so we went to that address and where we encountered Mr. Gray.
Okay. And this deputy that was with you, who was that?
Deputy Justin Elliott.
Okay. And it was just the two of you?
Yes.
Okay. So then you go to a new address,
Yes.
and did you speak to Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Tell me about that, how that happened.
Well, I knocked on the door, and he came to the front door, and I informed him why we were there and the purpose of our visit.
Okay. And did you identify yourself as law enforcement?
I did.
How were you dressed?
I was wearing I guess what you call an outer carrier, a bulletproof vest, quote unquote, and it had sheriff written in, I believe it was yellow letters on the top, and I was wearing my badge and my gun. I had a hat on.
Okay. Was Deputy Elliott with you at this point?
He was.
Okay. And was he dressed similarly?
A little bit different. He was wearing a road deputy's uniform. I don't know what class specifically it is. Is a button-up shirt with outer vest carrier type thing.
But did it identify him also with the Jackson County Sheriff's
It
Office?
did, yes.
Okay. And what was your tone when you were speaking with him? Was it aggressive, authoritative, or conversational?
I would call it conversational.
Okay. And did he agree to speak with you?
He did?
Okay. And was he free to leave at any time?
Yes.
Okay. And was he handcuffed in any way?
No.
Was he restrained in any way prior to the conclusion of the interview?
No.
Did he agree to speak with you?
Yes.
Was this interview recorded?
It was.
And how was it recorded?
Body cam and I used my county-issued cell phone to record conversation. That was a regular practice.
Did the Deputy Elliott also have a body cam?
He did. It was his body cam. I wasn't issued one at the
Okay.
time.
And have you reviewed what marked as State Exhibits 3A and 3B
Yes.
before your testimony today?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was the body cam video of our interview, and I think that was it. What was it? There was two separate videos. It was the initial conversation, and then a follow-up conversation, but on the same day at the same place.
Okay. And did they are they a fair and accurate recording of the interview with the defendant?
They are.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. And were they material additions or deletions to it?
No.
Your Honor, this time I tender State Exhibits number 3A and 3B.
Mr. Hobbs?
No objection, Judge, to either.
All right.
Just for the record, Your Honor, it's one continuous, it's just broken up
Did-
into two parts when it was recorded.
Okay.
So one is 15 minutes and the other is 4 minutes. So it's
Okay.
2 minutes.
All right, 3A and 3B are admitted.
During the course of the interview with the defendant, did you promise him anything in return for making a statement?
No.
Did you provide him with any hope of benefit if he provided you with a statement?
No.
Did you coerce the defendant into making a statement by way of threat or force?
No.
Did you maintain a conversational tone throughout the interview?
Yes.
Did you raise your voice with him during the interview?
No.
In your training experience as a law enforcement officer, have you had the occasion to come into contact with individuals under the influence of drugs and alcohol?
I have.
And did the defendant appear to be under the influence of any alcohol or drugs?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. Did he appear lucid and able to understand the questions you asked of him?
Yes.
Was he able to answer those questions?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, were the defendant's statements given freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
At any point, did he ask to end the interview?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. And at the end of the interview, was he free to leave?
Yes.
Did you leave him at his house after the interview concluded?
I did.
Okay. Just a second, please.
All right.
Good morning, sir.
Cross.
Good morning.
Is it Deputy Miller or is there a?
Danny Miller. I'm not a stickler with pomp and circumstance.
Gotcha. Well, I'll stick with deputy just for decorum.
That's fine.
So I represent Mr. Gray. If I ask a question that doesn't make any sense, please let me know and I'll try and rephrase it.
Fair enough.
All right. So you work for Barrow County Sheriff's Department?
I work for Jackson County.
Thank you, Jackson County.
Yes.
And how long have you been with Jackson County?
The county for 18 years. The sheriff's office, 17 of that.
Okay. And where were you at before the sheriff's?
United States Marine Corps,
Okay. And how long were you in the Marine Corps for?
4 years.
And did you have any experience in the Marine Corps as that you would suggest or that you would believe would be the equivalent of a law enforcement officer?
I did.
And what kind of experience was that?
It was about 9 months as a military police officer.
Okay. And when you said you received a tip. Is that right, from the FBI?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my supervisor received the tip.
Okay.
He sent it to me.
So your supervisor received a tip, sent it to you. Why was it sent to you? Was it because of a specific job or a specific role you had in the agency?
I was the on-call investigator for that. We do week-long durations for on-call duties. That was my particular week.
Okay. And how would you, if you could, describe what kind of tip it was?
Can you clarify that? I'm not.
Yes. Thank you for asking. What was, the tip was in reference to what? What were you being asked to investigate?
It was in reference to a school shooting.
Okay. And this is, just to make sure we're on the date, not confusing, do you recall approximately when this was, what date it was?
I'm not sure I understand what you're.
Sure. What day did you
I
this
don't remember
tip?
the specific date.
Remember the year?
It was 20, gosh, I'm going to have to go back in my memory banks, 23?
Okay.
Or, no, actually, it would have had to been, yeah, it was May of 23, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
I really can't recall, honestly.
I'm not going to hold you to it, but it was, okay. And, so you went out and spoke to Mr. Gray that day?
Yes.
In reference to this tip, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you have any special training? It sounds like you were the on-call investigator that week.
Correct.
Was there any special training you had that made you better suited to handle this type of case, or is it just completely because you were the investigator?
Completely because I was on call.
Okay, gotcha.
I do remember it was a Sunday, so that would, excuse me, that would, anything that would happen on a Sunday that required a follow-up investigation would be assigned to whoever was on call.
Okay. And after that particular interaction with Mr. Gray on that day, did you ever have any other interaction with Mr. Gray? Phone calls, anything
Phone
like
calls,
that?
yes.
Was there, when was the follow-up phone call? Like the next, not the date, but the next day, 2 days
I
later?
think it was either Monday or Tuesday of that same week.
Okay, so within a week of the initial
Yes.
meeting?
Mhm.
Okay. Can I have 1 second, Judge? I think
Yes,
I'm
sir.
almost done, Deputy. So the tip was in reference to Colt Gray, is that correct?
I believe it was, yes.
Who would have been a juvenile at the time?
Correct.
Do you have any special training for dealing with juvenile offenders?
Not particularly, no.
Just more of a generalized?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Is there any redirect?
Just briefly, did you write a report at the time to Graham this this incident?
I did.
And would the date be reflected in that report?
It would.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, may he be excused?
Please.
All right. We have additional witnesses?
No further witnesses in the state.
Any witnesses from the defense?
No, sir.
All right. Any additional witnesses for any other motion that we need to address?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So I understand y'all want to submit, you want to do some limited oral argument, but you want to submit letter briefs?
So I don't even want to do any oral argument, but the holidays are coming up, so I want to give them a head start on what I'm going to be arguing, so they're not scrambling. So I'd like to turn a letter brief in by Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
I don't want it to drag on farther than that. We're going to argue about whether or not the consent given was consensual. And as to the search warrant that Your Honor will get a copy of, we're simply going to argue whether or not it was particular enough in the search warrant not to be a general warrant. So just to give the state a bit of a head start on what we're going to be arguing so that they're not scrambling over the holidays.
And has that warrant already been admitted?
We hit the search warrant.
Are you talking about the house search warrant or the?
Or the cell phone?
The cell phone. Okay. So it turns out the search warrant we have on the black iPhone is a different black iPhone.
Okay.
So I don't think we just need to argue the first part, which is whether or not consent was valid. Because the search warrant was not obtained for Mr. Gray's black cell phone, it was a different black cell phone.
Okay.
So that takes care of that issue, makes it even easier.
Very good.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else that we need to address today by way of motions? I don't know that we have another motions day scheduled between now and early February.
Are we gonna have argument on the Jackson Deno hearing or?
Judge, so the Jackson Deno hearing in regards to Deputy Miller, we don't have argument on that. I think the state wanted to just kind of cross all the Ts and dot all the Is.
Okay.
We weren't really challenging that statement, but the state's right, it's better to have that motion and deal with it.
Ms. Brooks?
No objection to that. But as far as Agent Ward's, are we having argument on that or are you gonna?
No, I'll just do a quick letter briefing and
Okay.
get that to the court by Tuesday.
The state has not filed any specific motions related to evidence in this case. We filed some notices, like a notice of business records, a notice regarding our investigator remaining in the courtroom. So, and the only motion that we filed that I don't believe they're objecting to is just what can be viewed by, like recording devices. There's certain like crime scene photos and things of that nature that we're requesting not be allowed to be put on any sort of recording device. But I don't think the defense is objecting to that, so I don't believe there's any motions that we have that are pending.
Okay.
I would agree with that. We did get a notice of business records. We'll review that. There's quite a few.
Okay.
I don't foresee there being any issue, but we may follow up with the custodians just to make sure everything is the way we think it should be. And we would certainly let the state know if there were any issues. I did see the motion about the investigator yesterday. We don't have an objection at this point. I'll chat with Ms. Brooks just in regards to if that person is testifying or you're planning on that person testifying. But I'm sure that they will tell that person not to discuss the case or testimony with any other witnesses. So at this point, there's no objection to that. And just the photographs, we'll sit down with the state. We'll go over all that, but I don't have an objection.
Okay. How long would the state like to respond to the letter brief that I'll be getting by Tuesday?
Since that would include Christmas, I believe, so you're saying Tuesday of next week would be the 23rd?
I'll get it to you Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
It
would
should
like-
be pretty quick.
I don't think it will take very long, I would like 2 weeks, just because I'm not sure. I think there'll be several holidays in there, but we may get it to you before the 2 weeks. I would just like 2 weeks, which would be January 5th. End of business on January 5th.
Right.
Any issue with that?
None.
All right. So the state's going to respond no later than January 5th. All right. Now, I know with the scheduling order, the state's supposed to have submitted a list of witnesses to the defense. Has that been done?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, that was done on December 12th.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're on track for, I think it's February 9th. I know, Mr. Berry, you still have that trial in Cherokee County?
I do, Judge, that we had motions on that about a week and a half, about 2 weeks ago. So we're still on track for that. We hope that we will be through by the 9th. We do have some witnesses in that case, so it's going to take us a minute.
Okay. I'm sure Mr. Hobbs will be ready to go in your absence.
I don't know about that.
Do my best, Judge.
We'll get through as quickly as we can.
All right.
But one other issue,
Yes,
Judge,
sir.
I don't know when we want to sit down and talk about the voir dire process and how we're going to kind of go through the jurors as to their knowledge of this case.
Okay.
So I don't know whether you want to try to schedule another time that we can sit down and do that.
Yeah,
Whether you-
I'm happy to do that, and I do have a couple little blocks carved out between now and then, just for anything that we need to address. If y'all want any sort of brief meeting today, I'm happy to do that, if that works for you.
Great. I just think it would move things along a little quicker if we knew exactly which way we wanted to
Sure.
deal with that, so.
All right, anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Y'all have a good Christmas.
Thank you, Judge.
You too.
Oh, okay, Danielle.
I didn't, yeah, okay.